Some people. A picture of Speaker John Bercow's wife Sally wearing a sheet and a smile and apparently not much more appeared in some tabloid newspapers, but more importantly there's been a whispering campaign against the Bercows behind the scenes. Our political editor Michael Crick reports on why this is more than tittle-tattle.
The view from Speaker's house is incredibly sexy, particularly at night with the moon and the glow from the old gas lamps. When John and I were first courting, we used to walk along the South Bank and look at the Houses of Parliament. I never realised then how sexy I would find living under Big Ben, with the bells chiming.
The Speaker's wife on power as an aphrodisiac. And what made things worse was the picture of Sally Bercow scantily clad in a bedsheet in a hotel room across the Thames.
I think she is not helping. I mean, one of the things that people look for in a speaker is the dignity of the office. Now, the House of Commons got rid of a speaker fairly recently, and that was the first time in 300 years that it turned on its own authority figure. It can't make a habit of doing that, or it simply becomes a rabble. This is the authority figure of the House of Commons, and he is expected to discharge his office with a certain dignity. And she is making that actually quite difficult for him.
Sally Bercow herself said on radio it was just a bit of fun.
My husband's not exactly thrilled about it, but he's pretty cool, really. And it's just one of those things that, you know, it's sort of been blown up out of all proportion. It was meant to be a bit of fun, as I say. And, you know, I think it's harmless. And, you know, I was probably stupid to do it. I was a fool, really, to agree to be photographed in a sheet. I didn't really think through the implications. I didn't know I was going to be photographed in a sheet until I got there. But, you know, as I say, as I keep saying, I think it's a storm in a bedsheet.
More than 20 years ago, the teenage Sally Illman, like John Bercow himself then, was a keen Thatcherite.
Margaret Thatcher is absolutely right to stand firm on these issues, and we in this party must all back her to the hilt.
She moved to the left sooner than him and further, and now campaigns as an active Labour Party member. She stood for Westminster Council last year, joined Ed Balls on a teachers' march, and regularly upsets Tory MPs with her tweeting.
So here's to speaking out, even if it can get you into a bit of trouble.
And indeed, Twitter produced the only MP to come out against her publicly today. Tim Loughton, the Children's Minister, wrote, "Now someone needs to tell Mrs Speaker Bercow not just to shut up, but to cover up as well." Private comments were even stronger. "It looks like Sally Bercow is dangerously unhinged," one Tory MP told Newsnight. "It shows weakness on his part that he can't control her." "What she has done has turned the Speaker into a laughingstock," said another. "It's hard to see how he can recover from this." Another called the couple the Marcoses of British politics. "If there was a secret ballot," a minister told me, "he would be toast." But there was strong support from one Conservative MP.
I think it's disgracefully sexist the way that Sally Bercow has been targeted, not just in this particular instance, but over the course of her political career. There's a suggestion out there that she shouldn't have a mind of her own and be a Labour Party politician because her husband is the Speaker and prior to becoming the Speaker was a Conservative MP, and that is straight up sexism.
One very senior Labour MP suggested to me today that the Sally Bercow photo made her look like a prostitute. And he suggested that early next week the government chief whip, Patrick McLaughlin, should get together with his Labour opposite number, Rosie Winterton, and go round and see Mr Bercow and his wife and make it clear that such an incident should never ever happen again. But then one cabinet minister suggested to me this evening, can you really imagine how they'd react to a message like that? But the government chief whip could prove crucial to Mr Bercow's future, and he's not the Speaker's greatest fan, judging from this extraordinary exchange in the House in December.
Order! The government chief whip has absolutely no business whatsoever shouting from a sedentary position. Order! The honourable gentleman will remain in the chamber. The Honourable Gentleman, the Right Honourable Gentleman, has absolutely no business scurrying out of the chamber. Order! The Right Honourable... Order! The order!
The mood among MPs isn't yet strong enough to ditch the Speaker, but with so many incidents in recent weeks which have questioned his authority, it might not take much more to reach a tipping point.
Order!
Michael Crick, a quick look at tomorrow morning's front pages. The Guardian, as Cameron tells